Can he get his team to the Vanier? They'll hand it off. Mackart cuts it back, looking for the end zone. Touchdown Huskies with 5 seconds remaining.
It's the Vanier Cup U Sports Football Championship. Who's got the edge, the Western Mustangs or the Saskatchewan Huskies? To find out more, we hit up Canadian football insider Justin Dunk. All right, Justin, we've got you in the snowy background of Laval Stadium getting ready for Saturday's Vanier Cup. A lot of similarities between these two teams, but before we get to that, I have to give you a gold star because you got this prediction right when we talked about this last week. But do tell us about some of the similarities that you see between these two teams.
To me, the similarities that I see are in the offensive line for both the Saskatchewan Huskies and the Western Mustangs. They like to dominate it up front and run the football. For the Huskies, of course, it's Adam Mackart, but they also have Josh Iwanchina and Riker Frank in the backfield. And then you go to the Mustangs side, and they have a bunch of guys as well. We saw Edward Wynati take over the game in the second half. He's actually their third string running back. They have Trey Humes and Keon Edwards, who guys that are dominating the game. Edwards, of course, leading the entire U Sports in rushing during the regular season. So on the defensive side of the football, it's going to be about stopping the run, and that's where this game could be won or lost.
Okay, I was just about to ask you, what type of game do you expect? Is it a grind it out on the ground kind of game?
I see that somewhat, but there's also playmakers at receiver in this game. And to me, I go to Saskatchewan. Sam Baker, a Toronto Argonauts draft pick, they call him the touchdown maker out in the prairies, and he's been doing it his entire career. He's a guy that I think has take it over the game capabilities. And then Colton Clausen, a guy that's in his last year of eligibility and has been with this Huskies program for so long, he can make plays in the pass game as well. So I think there's opportunities through the air. We saw Campbell for the Mustangs in the Mitchell Bowl make a touchdown grab, cut back against the grain and get into the end zone. So they have playmakers there as well.
Okay, I always like to look at the coaching matchup, and this one's a great one. Greg Marshall, the veteran on the Western sidelines, and a relative newcomer in Scott Flory, although Canadians recognize that name. Who's got the edge?
Oh, that is tricky. I don't know if I'm going to give an edge one way or another because they're both really good coaches. And to me, I think the difference in the Huskies being able to get this far is the culture that Flory has built. So if you're going to give an edge at all, and I guess I'll give you a little bit here, it has to be Greg Marshall because he's been here before. He's won a Vanier Cup. He knows what to expect from the week and in turn, how to prepare his players to deal with the increased attention that comes with the Vanier Cup. So that's where I think the advantage is the prep week and treating it just like another game, even though it's for the biggest trophy in all of Canadian university football.
Can you pick one player on each team that Canadians should watch for?
Ooh, to me, for the Huskies, it has to be Adam Mackart, a guy that set the school single-season rushing record with over 1,300 yards in 2019. They had him on a, quote, pitch count to make sure he was fresh for the playoffs. And in the Hardy Cup, the Canada West Championship game, had over 200 yards on the ground, 3 total touchdowns. So he's the dude for me to watch on that side of the ball. For the Mustangs, when they have the football, I'm looking at Edward Wynati. That's a kid that Greg Marshall has compared to the great running back Jesse Lumsden. When he was with Marshall at McMaster University, he's got a very similar body type, and he's been wanting to get him the rock more. Yes, they have the 2 other talented backs, but Wynati might end up in the long run being better than all of the guys that he's teammates with right now.
Okay, I asked you last week for a prediction. I'm going to ask you this week. Can you make it 2 for 2? Justin Dunk, tell us what you predict.
I'd love to, but I'm going to plead the fifth here. I'm going to take the old commentator way out. That said, I do really believe it's going to be a tight football game that comes down to the wire because of both of the way these teams approach the game with a never say die attitude. And to find out who the winner is going to be, Signa, you might as well just watch the ending on CBC.
I was just about to say the same thing, and they can listen to your call as well with Mark Lee in the booth along with Coach Polo. Looking forward to it on Saturday.